Hey guys, I've been pretty sick for the past week. Just a real swollen throat, lost my voice, but it is starting to come back. So I thought I would sit down and get this review done because I'm starting to get a few piled up. So I just wanted to go over a few things on the Cyansky K3. Just go over it just a little bit. So you've got the attack bezel and you've got these 3 points to assist with window breaking, or I guess in self-defense you could really hurt somebody with it. It's got the semi-gloss anodizing as well that helps to provide it just a bit more grip. You've got the side switch. I've improved it on this, giving it more grip, because with like the version 1 over here, you can see it's just a smooth switch, and so with sort of the smooth body as well, I just could not find that. And since that's how you change the modes on it, that was the big downside of this on my review of the version 1. It's just pretty bad. Advertised as a tactical flashlight, yet you can't actually find the side switch to change modes, so that was a big fail. And so on this one they have improved it by making it more risen up, as well as giving it a good texture, so I have no problem finding that in the dark now. But yeah, you've got just a standard clip. You've got some knurling on here, actually provides good decent grip on here, and I've just got some notes just below the camera, just helped so I don't lose myself. The switches are good, really good quality, good feel to them, no issue at all. So I'll just go through like the improvements over the version 1. So the beam profile on this is nicer with a more centered LED. With the version 1, let's have them both. The LED is slightly off center, so you get the hot spot, and then around the hot spot is the corona, and so when the LED is a little bit off center, it shifts that corona to being larger on one side than the other, and that was sort of the only issue. With this, it's much nicer. So they've got a spring on the driver, so that helps for battery compatibility, and it prevents any damage to the battery or the driver if you were to mount this on a rifle or a shotgun. For the version 1, it just had a solid contact there, so I was a bit concerned about that, because I'm a dealer for Cyansky, and that's been the major issue. That was one of the big things that I didn't want to stock the version 1, because it mostly hunters buy from me, and I know that that would not be ideal to mount on a rifle for that reason. So the version 1 would only work with a button top, unprotected button top, or a protected battery. This one works with unprotected just fine. Also, they've added the battery status indicator in the switch, and of course we've talked about the improvements of the side switch to the version 1. They have included an eco level, so if you hold the side switch, press the rear switch, and now you've got it in a nice eco level of 2 lumens. They have improved the thermal regulation on it, so the version 1 is jumping around all over the place once it reduces down off that turbo, and for this one it's a nice, very nice stabilization on there, so very good. And I believe the reason for that is now on this one they've added, it's called an NTC thermistor on the LED's MCPCB, and so that helps to monitor the temperature and make it more sort of precise and the temperature control. So that's you know, all good steps in the right direction, but there are some minuses, and I'll just go over them. There is no low voltage protection on this light. As far as I could tell, the battery is protected, and at 2.5 volts it tripped the battery's protection and cut off, but it doesn't state low voltage protection in the manual, just a warning. But it gives plenty of time as a warning, and I think it flashes 3 times every 2 or 3 minutes, I think. And it just runs like on eco level, low to eco level, for like several hours after it drops down. So it gives plenty of warning, and it kind of is a good thing if you're in a you're out somewhere and you need light, you're away from a battery source, like a power source, you don't have a spare battery and you just need a bit of light. So there is sort of pros and cons to that. Another one is the UI. Cyansky had the perfect opportunity to give the version 2 an improvement, like a true tactical UI, and they gave it the same UI. I don't understand their mindset on that, because a lot of manufacturers, just because it's got a rare forward clicky with momentary, a lot of manufacturers automatically think it makes it a tactical flashlight, and if you don't have a tactical UI, it's not really a tactical flashlight. So let's say I used to be a security officer, and I used to do night patrol, and if you had this like holstered, and somebody jumped out at you and you pulled it up in a tactical grip, and you turn it on, and it is in its memorized low or medium level, you know, you have to reach up with your other hand and you have to cycle it up to turbo. There's no way of getting there, and to activate the strobe you have to hold down on the side switch, and that's a lot of time to do that, especially if you have a weapon in your other hand. There's no way for you to change levels, and that's a big problem. And I had a talk with Cyansky, and they've agreed with me, and they said this is not really a true tactical flashlight, more for general use with tactical capabilities. But they're on board with that, and they're looking at a true tactical lineup in the future. So that's really good to have them understanding what needs to be on a tactical flashlight. But you absolutely have to have at least an instant turbo available. For the just a little bit to go through 2 more points, is that the mode spacing on the version 1 I much preferred. On the version 1 they had a high level of 800 lumens, and that had a range of 425 meters. So that's a bit better. The version 2 now, they've dropped that high level down to 450 lumens, and with a range of 336 meters. So normally you would halve that range rating for good usable lighting. So the version 2 is giving about 150 meters, whereas the version 1 is about 200 meters, and I just feel like there's such a big jump to the turbo there. There's a sort of, it feels like there's a level missing. Like you've got the low, medium, high quite well spaced, and then there's this big gap, and I just really don't like it. It's just a little bit disappointing there, because if you're out hunting, you're away from power source, don't have a spare battery, and you want to conserve your battery, you don't want to have to activate that turbo for it to first drop down after that burst to be able to get down to around the 800 lumen level. I strongly believe and feel that flashlights should have the high level at a place where the flashlight can actually sustain that output. But so I do prefer the version 1 for the mode spacing and the extra range, you know, on that high level. And just one last thing, if we have a look at the runtime of the version 1 and version 2, I did a fresh test of the version 1 just to give a good comparison. And the version 1, the version 2 achieves a high output for 4 minutes, and it's only like 200 lumens more. I didn't measure the 400 lumen extra that they claim, and then after the 4 minutes, for another 6 minutes, that's when the version 1 is actually achieving a high output. I much prefer that step down curve on the version 1. This has got like a sudden drop off just before the 2 minute mark, and you can actually visually see that. I much like a slight sort of reduction, so that sort of goes unnoticed. That's what I like. That's what they had on the version 1. But yeah, it's an overall good improvement for the version 2, but there are some things that I do not like. But yeah, it's a fantastic flashlight anyway. But I just don't believe that if you have the version 1, if you have the version 1 here, there's absolutely no reason really to buy the version 2 at this stage. But I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope it's been useful to someone out there that's looking at this model. Thanks, guys.